And there is the port pilot leading us into Antigua. It is always bittersweet on the very first port day because it's nice to see land that you haven't seen in a few days, but then you also know that your days of being lazy are coming to an end because you have to get ready and go out on your port adventure, which we are looking forward to. Again, this is a port that we intended to visit 3 years ago, and this port adventure is the one that we had picked out 3 years ago, but we weren't able to do it because our itinerary got changed. So it is nice to be able to finally see Antigua. Good morning from Antigua. We are so excited to be here. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous day, and we cannot wait to get this day started. And I have made my way to the Walt Disney Theater to meet for our port adventure. Mom and Dad have decided not to go. They just aren't going to be able to make it today. So they are going to enjoy the day on the ship. When I left them, they had found a nice comfy chair in the Cove pool area, and they're just going to take in the sights from the deck. We are boarding our air-conditioned motor coaches. And then back over here behind us is our beautiful ship. And the pier was just on the other side of the ship, and we walked around this way and this way, and now we are here. And we have someone selling water for $1, which is cheaper than they have it on the ship, so that might be something that interests you. They have single seats, which is great if you're by yourself.
This is the capital we're driving through. It's 2 islands making up one nation, Antigua and Barbuda. We're driving through the capital, and I don't want you to miss this building on the left. It's the St. John's Anglican Church. The main religion here in Antigua is Church of England, Episcopalian, or Anglicans. Okay, this one is special because it's known as a church within a church. Because on the outside you can see it's made of stone, but on the inside it's encased in a type of wood called pitch pine. And they did it that way to protect the church from earthquakes and hurricanes that frequent this island. Okay, so it's a beautiful woodwork inside. In there, in this white building, this is the Antigua Recreation Grounds. It was built to do our main sport, is cricket. You've heard of cricket?
Yes.
That's where we hosted cricket matches up until the early 80s. When you're at home and you're getting a weather update and you see the hurricanes leave Africa, they're coming this way. We're on the path. We wish we could move, but we can't. We can only hope that the storm gets no closer to us than 200 miles. 200 miles will give us the rain clouds that we need, take all the wind somewhere else. And that's usually what happens. When the storm gets to us, it gathers strength from our warm waters and turns into major hurricanes to cause problems for the Bahamas, for Florida, Bermuda. But all the storms come by here first, right? So, and that's where we get our rain from. When that rainy season or hurricane season ends, everything turns brown. As we drive through the countryside, you're going to see the homes have large black tanks on the outside. But when it rains, they would catch the water in these tanks and maybe boil it to drink it or just use it in their homes. Okay, so water is the issue. We do make rum, a lot of rum. Our rum is called Cavalier rum, and there's a 86 proof and a 151 proof. You're going to get to try the 151 today.
Ooh.
Okay, in the form of a rum punch.
Nice.
Yes. It's the same rum that they made back in the 1700s, but today it's refined and it's mellow. In those days it was black and sticky. So on the left is the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Stadium. Okay? If you look in there, you'll notice that the seats are in colors. That's the colors and design of our national flag. Yes? It's the only stadium that we have, so they host other events in there besides cricket. On the left, it's actually Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Right name?
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't usually paint a church.
They call that the Pepto-Bismol building.
That, okay, maybe a few years ago the church needed to be repainted, and one of the parishioners owned a hardware or some sort of depot, and he said, you know, Father, you can have all this pink. No one else is buying it. Take all the pink you need. Yeah?
And we are at our first stop, Nelson's Dockyard. And of course, they had to start us off in a gift shop.
Welcome to the Nelson's Dockyard. Nelson's Dockyard was built back in 1745. It was used as a naval base and careening station for the British. From 1784 to 1787, Admiral Horatio Nelson, who served as captain, and while stationed here, his main role was to enforce the Navigation Act, which is to put a stop to the sugar trade from going to the Americans. For this, he was very unpopular here, so he spent most of his time on his ship. Another reason why he spent most of his time on his ship is because he didn't like Antigua. He called it a mosquito hellhole, meaning it is too hot and filled with mosquitoes. As we were coming down, we came through the two big white gates. They were kept closed and heavily guarded back in the day. That was made to keep women from entering the dockyard. Women weren't allowed inside because they were thought of as spies, disease carriers, and a distraction. Ladies, I must say, we are a distraction. Onto the buildings. The one building just there with a stone ramp. That's the oldest building in the dockyard, built back in 1769. All the way to my left, we have the two-story brick building. It's called the copper number store. Sheets of copper and lumber were stored on the bottom floor.
So we are at Nelson's Dockyard for a tour of this UNESCO World Heritage Site. And they gave us a complimentary rum punch, and it's made with 151 rum, which is the highest proof rum. And they said it was really smooth. Let's see.
The rum? It's good.
I would agree that it is really smooth. Okay, way up there is the old Naval Commissioner's quarters. And this is the Naval Dockyard. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And they were saying years and years ago when the ships would dock, I think what she was saying is that they would hire people here to clean the ships, and it would take them up to 6 months. Not because it was hard work, but because they paid them with a pint of rum, and it took them that long to do it because they were always drunk. And over here is what they called the pay house, and that's where they would pick up their rum. And to this day, it is still a bar/liquor store. And this is just another view of the harbor. Now this is the main building of Nelson's Dockyard. And it's the former home of Admiral Nelson when he lived here in Antigua in the 1700s. It now houses a museum, which according to Google showcases the history of the dockyard and the island's archaeological research. When we went through these white gates on the way in, they told us that these white gates were closed not to keep out the enemy, but to keep out women. Women were not allowed in Nelson's Dockyard because they thought that women were spies. So there you go.
Equal parts of fruit juice, so you can have orange and pineapple, orange and something else. Equal parts. You know what is grenadine? A few shakes of grenadine, and the secret ingredient is nutmeg. Okay, you put everything together, stir it all up or shake it all up, and you have your own delicious rum punch.
So the fruit juice and the rum is equal parts?
The rum as much as you want.
And then the fruit juices are equal parts of each other. Gotcha.
Then there's the fruit shakes of the grenadine and the nutmeg. Freshly grated nutmeg is preferable, but you can use the powder, the one in the package also. Okay.
Next stop is some sort of an interpretive center.
Good morning, son. Thanks for waking me up.
doing it since the beginning of time.
You must have summed up on everything that's happening.
I've seen many visitors come and go in the park over the centuries.
Who was first?
Stone Age people are the first.
Why do they let me see plants?
The African people spend with them living in village lifestyle, which lives on. Many stay and form the basis of Antiguan culture.
And this is absolutely gorgeous. And it looks like they have some sort of event set up for today. I think it's a wedding. And it is a gorgeous spot. And here is what they have set up for the wedding.
There is someone renewing their wedding vows in the afternoon after we leave here. So that's what's really happening right now with the whole setting up process. If you look up at Shirley Heights, you'll see some buildings there. So Shirley Heights was once a fort, and it was called the Lookout Point. It's the main fort here in Antigua because on a clear day, usually the Spanish and Dutch wanted to take over the island from the British.
We are at Shirley Heights, and this is the guardhouse at Shirley Heights. It was the only building that's original to the property. And over here we have sweeping views of the sea. How gorgeous is this? I am loving these cacti all along the wall here. I could look at this all day.
The reason the English chose here to put their naval base back there is because of its features. From outside, it looks like nothing's happening. You see, it's guarded by the two forts, one in ruin on this side, one peninsula sticking out. And that's where they had the long chain, called the boom chain. And when an enemy ship would try to make its way in, they would raise the chain and rip the bottom out of the ships. Okay? So I'm sure the movie told you most about it. That they told you Horatio Nelson was in charge of everything. At that time, America had just vegetable. That's how we got the pepper pot. It's like the original crock pot. Okay? So we have this pepper pot with something called a fungi. Fungi is not a fungus. It's a medium-sized dumpling made from corn flour, and there's okras in it, and it's made into a nice looking dumpling. And they would have the two together. Each island has their own national dish. We make a lot of, we eat a lot of fish. Back in the day, everyone had their own fish trap or fish pot, and they would throw it out and then they would pull it in. Whatever's in there would be for lunch, because lunch is the main meal. Okay, we'd have a light breakfast, heavy lunch, and a light dinner.
This line to get back on the ship is no joke. No joke at all. So I have found myself at this cute little bar. Since the line to get back on the ship was super long, I decided I would have a cocktail before I head back on the ship. And it's just this open air bar on the main shopping street. I got myself something called Caraval. He said that's their house beer. It says Premium Caribbean Lager. Now, you know, I have a history of buying beer that was actually brewed in the U.S., so I'm going to try to read the fine print here and see if I can find out where this is brewed. All right, so I'm going to give this a taste. That is good. That is full flavored lager. Very refreshing.
What I talk to you about?
But where is it brewed? All right, so I read the fine print, and I don't know if you can see this, but it is brewed in Belize. Belize City, Belize. So not in the U.S. Winning. So clearly I am back back on the ship after the port adventure to Antigua. And I've been calling it Antigua the whole time, but it's actually Antigua. I think the thing I enjoy the most about these islands is learning about the history of the island, and I actually want to learn more about some of the things I saw and did today. So tonight we have dinner. We are in Royal Court again, and this is a menu that we've never had before. It's brand new food, brand new menu. It's always fun to get a menu that you've not gotten before. Mom and Dad did not join me on the port adventure today. They just didn't feel up to it. Sometimes with them it's day by day, and it's just whatever they feel like doing at the time, and we still are going to have to pay for it for them. We won't be able to get a refund. You can only get a refund if you cancel 3 days before the cruise leaves. So I did ask to see if there was a chance we could get an exception, and they said that no, unless you are canceling for a medical reason, you can't get a refund, which is fine. And so we'll see how tomorrow goes. But as you can see, they are here with me. And Mom's enjoying her bread. We've already ordered our food, and we are looking forward to a good dinner. Our first appetizer has arrived, and we all got the double cheese souffle. It looks like it has some sort of a spinach sauce on it. And I don't know what to think about this. This could be delicious, or it could be interesting. So let's try. Okay, based on Mom and Dad's reaction, it sounds like it's going to be interesting. Okay, Dad has already declared he does not like it. It looks just like a piece of bread.
Make that too.
Okay, Mom's also decided that she does not like it. It's not bad, but the sauce on it is not the slightest bit hot. And I'm not sure that sauce has ever been hot. Now, I know that this is mass produced. We're on a cruise ship. It's the main dining room. They do the best they can, and for the most part, they do a pretty good job of making sure the food's good. But I'm not sure that sauce has ever been heated up at all. Let me try this again. Okay, the whole thing would be better if it were hot. Would you agree with that?
I like the taste of it, even if it was hot.
Okay, Mom said she doesn't like the taste of it, so she wouldn't like it even if it were hot. I think it would be better if it were hot, but I don't think this is served at the right temperature. I think that the sauce is supposed to be warm. I think this has to go down as a miss. I think we all three agree this is not very good. Okay, so I got bruschetta with serrano ham, and this looks really good. It looks pretty interesting. It looks like it's got a flavorful bread underneath there with some tomatoes and prosciutto. All right, let's dig into this. It's hard to cut. I think I would have done better if I just picked it up and taken a bite. It's fine. It's bread. It's tomatoes. It's ham. It's fine. Thank you. Okay, up next, I also got the romaine wedge, which is basically like a Caesar salad that I have to cut up myself, which is fine. I absolutely love wedge salads. If there's a wedge salad on the menu, I'm almost always going to order it, and that's not just on the cruise ship, that's everywhere. And Mom got that as well, and Dad actually got like a caprese salad. It had mozzarella and tomatoes and arugula leaves. Okay, let's give this a taste. That's a good salad. All right, so I ended up with 2 entrees. To start with, I got the tenderloin with lobster medallions. And this has got some sugar snap peas with it, and it's got, I think, some carrots and mashed potatoes. Then I also got venison with mashed potatoes, and there's some morel mushrooms on there. Well, the menu said that there were morel mushrooms, but these just look like normal mushrooms to me. I don't see any morels, so we shall see. All right, I am going to try the venison first. It's very tender. And I'm going to get a bite of mashed potatoes on that. And then maybe some of the mushroom. And get a little bit of the mushroom on there. Ah, that looks like the perfect bite. Okay, the venison was very, very good. Now I'm going to try the beef tenderloin with lobster medallions. And just like before, I'm going to get some mashed potato on there. I might have to go back in for the lobster in a second bite. That's very flavorful. It's very tender. It's cooked perfectly. I would be very happy with it at any day of the week, but the venison is better. Now I'm going to try a bite of the lobster. I love lobster. And dessert has arrived. I got, this is called a chocolate terrine. Again, this is a menu we have not had before, so I am really not sure what to think of this. And Dad got the Rocky Road sundae. It's Rocky Road ice cream with marshmallow. And Dad's already declared his sundae is good. So I'm going to break into this terrine. Oh, there's layers. Yeah, that is not good. That is not good at all. I think tonight's towel creation is a stingray. I'm not sure what else it could possibly be. I'm just going to go with a stingray. And then we got our delicious chocolates. The Cove pool is so pretty at night. I decided that I needed a little bit of hot tub time. So I decided to come on up here and check out the hot tubs. Look how inviting that looks. And Mom and Dad are bundled up in the cold night air. And they're just gonna hang out here while I go get in the hot tub.
We have a blanket or something.
You want a blanket? Okay, I'll get you some towels. Yeah, Mom says she's gonna people watch. Dad says he wants a blanket. He's chilly. That hot tub was so nice, and now it has put me right to sleep. But before I go to bed, I do have to go buy guest services because Mom has decided she also does not think she's up for tomorrow's port adventure because it involves a little bit more walking than we'd planned on and more stairs than she thinks that she's capable of taking right now. She's been having some knee issues, a little bit of arthritis pain, as one does when they're of age. But instead of canceling her off of the port adventure, they canceled me instead. And I just realized that because I was looking to see what time it was in the morning. So the port adventure's desk is closed for the evening, so I need to go to guest services and see if they can get it taken care of for me. So with that, we are going to call it a night, and tomorrow we'll be in St. Lucia, where I hope to be going to a volcano we'll see based on the little snafu of the port adventures today. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.